Hi, this is Trey Passer, and welcome to my random review, episode 1. Normally I do my Hitchcock Sunday review, but I'll save that for next week. But I had an inkling to do something different, sort of a random review. And this is a DVD movie, animated movie that I picked up about 2 weeks ago, I think. And I wanted to review it because I've seen this movie before, but not from beginning to end. I'm talking about 2005's Batman vs. Dracula. Now, this is based on the TV cartoon show that used to be on CW called The Batman, and I think it lasted like 5 seasons. And this is about a young Bruce Wayne, young Batman, and the voice actor is different than, of course, Kevin Conroy, who's God, as far as I'm concerned, is the animated voice of Batman. But this is done by Reno Romano, who's really good as a young. I like his voice. He has a good voice for a young Bruce Wayne, young Batman. Okay, and this one takes place. The movie starts off as you have this criminal in Arkham Asylum where this petty criminal is basically trying to talk to the Penguin, who's trying to ignore him, and he's telling him, "Listen, he's pretending to be crazy, so he doesn't do 20 years in the real prison versus the 10 years in Arkham." And he tells the Penguin, "Listen, he has to score that he hit it in the graveyard somewhere." And he's trying to get Penguin, he knows Penguin can break out. So he said, "Listen, if you help me break out, I'll split things with you 50-50. And of course, then he, Penguin ignores him until he tells him that he has a stash, and then he perks up, and then he says, "Listen, this other guy I tried to tell him too. He kind of, went crazy, kind of ignored me." And he said, "Who are you talking about?" And then at that moment, you hear the alarms go off saying, "Okay, that of course the Joker escaped," and so that's who he actually told before. He made the proposition to before. Okay, so of course during the course of this chaos, the Penguin does escape, and he follows his instructions that the guy had given him, and he goes to a cemetery, and behind this cross, I think it says it's supposed to be behind the cross in the tomb, and the Penguin goes down there and he takes one of his trick umbrellas, and he sees a tomb that has chains on it, and it's chained up. Whatever's in this tomb is chained up. So he cuts it with this trick umbrella and cuts it and breaks the chains, and then he uses the trick umbrella to move the tomb open. And of course, during the course of this, he kind of cuts his hand, and he opens up the grave, and he sees nothing in it but a skeleton, and he kind of drips blood down into the skeleton, and he kind of gets disgusted and walks away. But of course, this coffin has to be the coffin of Dracula, and that little ounce of blood revives Dracula, and he starts chasing Penguin, of course, and he basically makes the Penguin one of his minions to watch over his grave. And Dracula decides, he's resurrected in this new world, and he wants to basically raise a new undead army. Okay, and at the same time, Batman is chasing the Joker, who's escaped from Arkham, and through no fault of his own, the Joker supposedly drowns, and of course that weighs on Batman because he has a rule of not killing. And at the same time, people start missing. People start disappearing. Of course, the police not knowing that it's really Dracula doing this, they assume that it's because people describe it as a large bat, so naturally they think it's Batman doing these disappearances. And of course, during the course of Bruce Wayne having a benefit at his house, that's where he runs into Dracula, who goes by the name of Alucard, a visitor for a foreign land. And also Batman meets Vicky Vale. He actually did an interview with her, and he invites her to come to the benefit as his date, of course. And then of course Dracula, of course, is intrigued with Vicky Vale as well. Okay, and like I said, the police start chasing Batman because they think he's the one behind all these mysterious disappearances, but of course it's not him. And he, in the course of trying to save someone, he discovers that yes, there are vampires around. And basically the movie is him trying to stop Dracula and save all the people, and Gotham come up with a solution to save all the people that have been bitten. And this is a really good movie. Like I said, I only saw like towards the middle end of this movie on Cartoon Network one day, and I said, I always wanted to see the beginning of it. So I saw this in the bin for like $4.99 at Best Buy, so I snatched it up, and it really good. I like the whole atmosphere. I like the whole Batman struggling to find a cure for these people and struggling against Dracula because he's Dracula. He has supernatural powers, and it takes all of Batman's wit and skill to to stay ahead of him, and there is a moment where you think Batman's gonna gonna buy it, because Dracula is that, he's supernatural. Okay, and it's a really good movie. I like the mood, the whole atmosphere of it, and Batman, having to save Vicky Vale and save Gotham from Dracula, and it's a really good. And Peter Stormare, that's his name. He's a really good actor, and he does the voice work as Count Dracula, and he's really good as well. And it's a fun ride. I definitely recommend this movie. I would give Batman vs. Dracula an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much. Okay, and definitely worth seeing. So, like I said, go back next week. Probably go back to my Hitchcock reviews, but every once in a while I'll do a random review. This will be the first episode, but I'll mix it in here and there, random reviews of movies that I want to see, and just throw it in there. Okay. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen Batman vs. Dracula, what do you think of it? And if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.